What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and within a time span of 2 short weeks, nearly 30 kids have gone missing in Cleveland. People are labeling this an extraordinary surge in missing persons cases. People are baffled. The people of Cleveland are scratching their heads trying to figure out what is going on, what has gone wrong, what has caused this sudden spike in the disappearance of children. Whereas myself, I am sitting here not surprised at all. Honestly, I'm surprised that people are acting surprised about this. Take a look around you. I mean, really, take a hard look around you. What did you think was going to happen? When people normalize the victimization of kids, when people make victimizing kids mainstream, when people try to pretend as if indoctrinating kids, introducing kids to all of this weird stuff, people try to act like that's okay. It's good for our society. But what we're doing is we are enabling and empowering predators, all in the name of social justice. Do you have any idea what your kid is being taught in school? Do you have any idea what some of these whacked out teachers are exposing your kids to at school? Do you have any idea what the society has started doing to kids right out in the open as of late? And the sad part is that a lot of people are advocating for this nonsense. They are fighting to normalize this nonsense. And then they wonder, well, why are all these kids going missing? Probably because you all are empowering predators. You are trying to normalize people who prey on little kids. You have created new names like MAPS and YAPS, trying to normalize people who have a thing for doing horrible things to kids. And then you wonder, well, why are all these kids going missing? We have people all across this country sitting in jail for way too long for petty crimes. Meanwhile, predators, people who do horrible things to women and children, they're getting a slap on the wrist and they're let right back out into society to hurt more people. The world has gone so nutso that we have men in jail for harming women that are now saying, hey, I feel like I'm a woman now. And we're taking these men who have harmed women, who are in jail for harming women, and we're taking these men and we're putting them in women prisons so they can harm more women. We're taking literal dudes that are in jail for harming women and little girls and little boys, and we're taking them and we're putting them in women's prisons because they feel, I feel like I'm a woman now. Society is crumbling around us, and half of our population seems to be out here fighting for the right for predators to have access to children. And then when we see this spike and this rise in missing children's cases, everyone's trying to figure out what's going on here. You're to blame. You are to blame. And when I say you, I don't mean you watching this video. You all know the type of people I'm talking about. In fact, some of y'all are those type of people, so I guess some of these comments may be directed at you. Because if you're out here advocating for children to have parts of their bodies chopped off, if you're out here advocating for little kids to be exposed to all types of sexual stuff in school, if you're out here taking your kids to drag shows so people can expose themselves in front of your kids while doing sexy dances, then you are part of the problem. You are enabling the predators. You are the reason there is a sudden spike in missing kids cases. It's really that simple. I don't know why we're even sitting here playing this game, trying to figure out, well, what's going wrong here? Society has gone wrong. That's what's wrong. But I'm going to go ahead and dive into this article, but first, make sure you hit that like button. It's totally free, and it goes a long way into helping my channel. We got to start getting those likes up on this channel. The more we can get these likes up, the more I can pump out content. So hit that like button, share the video, drop a comment below, and let's go ahead and dive into this article. Nearly 30 kids have gone missing in Cleveland in the first 2 weeks of May in an extraordinary surge of disappearances in the area, officials say. Cleveland police say that 27 kids have been reported missing between May 2nd and May 16th, as Newborough Heights Police Chief John Majoy warns that the disappearances have reached unprecedented levels in 2023. There's always peaks and valleys with missing persons, but this year it seems like an extraordinary year. For some odd reason, in 2023, we've seen a lot more than we normally see. I wonder why. Which is troubling, in part because we don't know what's going on with some of these kids, whether they're being trafficked or whether they're involved in gang activity or drugs. Majoy noted that some of these cases are runaways, but he feared that some of the teenagers could have been victims of predators who he likened to wolves in sheep's clothing. The rise in disappearances are especially troubling because many times there's a lack of photos of the victims, and the fact that many of the cases go largely unnoticed by the public. It's a silent crime that happens right under our noses. Let me pause right there. This is not happening right under your noses. It's happening right in your face. It's not under your nose where you can't see. No, it's right before your eyes. It's very obvious what's happening. It's funny to me because out here in Cleveland, in Cincinnati, Ohio, and in various other areas around this area, they are throwing these youth events that are sponsored by the Children's Hospital of Cincinnati, who actually performs, transitioning surgeries on kids and things of that nature. So there is a heavy political influence in this area of America that is indoctrinating kids, and it's almost encouraging kids to transition and encouraging kids to explore all of these weird avenues that will only lead to a dark, lonely, and depressing life full of medical issues. So this area is really popular for this nonsense. And then we've set it up to where we have teachers, we have psychiatrists, counselors, medical professionals. You got Hollywood, all telling these and indoctrinating these kids into believing that everyone knows better for them other than their parents. Basically, they're trying to say that your parents don't know what's best. You need to do these things behind their back. And it's taking these kids down some really dark paths where they're meeting up with some really dark people, like you said, wolves in sheep clothing, that try to make them feel like they're accepted in a certain community, and then they snatch them right up. And everyone's saying, it's happening under our noses. It's not as if we just didn't have an event down the street where we invited a bunch of child predators to come prey on children right in public in front of everyone's eyes. But hey, let's go forward. The problem is, where are they? Where do they go? They can be in a drug house or farmed to prostitution. To combat the surge of disappearances in Cleveland and other areas in northern Ohio, U.S. Marshals launched Operation We Will Find You in May to recover 35 missing kids. Agents combed through cases in Cleveland, Toledo, Akron, and other counties to find the missing minors, with some of the kids located as far as California, Arizona, and West Virginia. The Marshal Service is fully committed to assisting federal, state, and local agencies with locating and recovering these endangered missing children. The epidemic of missing kids in our country needs a spotlight. It needs our focus. We hope operations like this sharpen that focus. Every child deserves a safe environment to grow up in, and we are dedicated to helping provide that for the kids and families in Northern Ohio. Sylvia Collin, who founded Cleveland Missing after her teenage cousin was abducted in 2004, urged families to take these cases seriously and to work through the trauma of disappearances to save runaway and kidnapped kids. Every family's experience is different, but there are some things that are the same for everybody. It's first disbelief, blame. What did we do wrong? Did we miss something? Oh my gosh, how are we going to find this person? As the days progress and it becomes a case that's not solved after a couple of months or 2 years or 3 years, life happens too, she added. Then you have this guilt of continuing to press forward and to live your life while continuing your search. I find it heartbreaking that we have reached this point in this country. I find it heartbreaking that the problem is right there in all of our faces. It's right there. You have to be blind. Matter of fact, not even blind. You have to be blatantly, purposely trying to ignore the problem. Because not only is it right there in your face, it's smacking you across the face while pulling your ear and yelling in your ear as loud as possible. We all know the problem. The only problem is the majority of us are scared to pinpoint the problem. We're scared to acknowledge the problem. We're scared that maybe some people will get mad or call us bad words or label us a phobe or an ist or this or that if we acknowledge the problem. Meanwhile, while all of these cowards are cowering from mean words on the internet, oh God, I hope no one says something bad about me, little kids are going missing left and right every freaking day, getting taken advantage of. We got Big Pharma coming down here, making boatloads of money off of these kids and their families, putting them on all types of stuff. Puberty blockers, hormones, you name it. Society has gone off the rails. It's gone wild. And most people know that, but they're afraid to acknowledge it. And then they have the audacity to sit here in our faces, acting confused about why are these kids going missing? What's happening to kids? Why the sudden spike? Pay attention to the timing of things. It's no coincidence that when we see a spike of all of this nonsense, this weird agenda getting pushed in this country, as soon as we see a spike in that, we also see a spike in missing kids cases. It's not hard to put two and two together. It's not rocket science. You don't need a calculator. You don't need a pencil. You don't need a book. All you need is your eyes. Stop lying to yourselves. We know what the problem is. We need to nip these problems in the bud, or kids are just going to continue being sacrificed at the altar of these weird agendas that are currently being pushed in America and all over the world. Let me know your thoughts about this, though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.